Genealogy is us. Genealogy, but I would say both what we discover, but also the very process of discovering is at its core who we are. And to link this to the study of Torah, when you study Torah, you are learning the story of our people, the genealogy of our people. But you're not just gathering information. It's the process of that learning that's significant. It's how that learning informs you and changes you and draws you in.
One of the really positive things I found about doing the research on my Jewish side of my family is that I felt that the sense that the Jewish community and the Jewish genealogical community was really wanted me to do this research. I felt that there was a very supportive group of people out there who are really excited for people to do their Jewish genealogy.
There's a commonality between all of us as being Jews. And I'm interested in other people's experience because they bring a dimension to my research I add to theirs about our having been Jewish.
That's a really great thing for anybody who wants to do Jewish genealogy, is the minute you dip your toe in, there's a whole pool full of people saying, yeah, come on in, you know, we'll help you.
In America, there's so many different ways to be Jewish. It's evolved tremendously in 100 years. So when people say they want to learn about their Jewish heritage, I think to some extent it's about recapturing a way of life that's disappeared.
Genealogy is one of the best things I've ever taken part in. It's a study of our families, and I think it's a very valuable thing for people to do.
The people that I've met doing genealogy tend to respect history and are interested in history, so they're not only just interested in genealogy and their own personal history, but what was the history of the time or place around where their family was living.
I know of other coursework that requires students to conduct genealogical research pretty much for the same reason, for enabling a history that may be silenced for whatever reasons, to have a voice.
Emphasize the fact that I'm interested in the stories.
Where did I come from? And how far can I go back? And what's interesting is are there people like me? I had to come from somewhere.
For people who are younger than me, and you still have grandparents and parents around, I would say get out a tape recorder or a notebook and interview them, because I wish I had the opportunity now, because their heads filled with so much information about the family, and I missed it. Because you're just too busy when you're younger to do it. But take some time and just use a tape recorder and ask them questions about, you know, where did grandma come from? Where did grandpa come from? And write all that and document it, because I wish I had it.
Genealogy is an adventure. When I was a kid, I loved Nancy Drew books. I loved reading those little mysteries, reading about the little clues, piecing together the puzzles, sort of coming out of it with learning something new. In every book in that series, there was some other adventure, some other aspect of something that she learned about. And I sort of look at researching my family the same way. I learn about so much. I like history, I like reading about history, but I like it more when I read about my family history.
What were these people like? That absolutely fascinates me.
I recommend that if you have any desire at all to find your family, regardless of whether you're just a beginner, ranked beginner, or a real scholar, that you join the group.
If I had to give somebody advice who was just starting their research, I think I'd tell them a couple things. One thing I would tell them is have patience. Don't expect to find everything in 1 hour and be done with your research. And second thing I would tell them is don't give up. I've had times where for 3 or 4 months at a time I haven't found anything. And then I've found one small little clue which has opened numerous doors and has just helped me find huge amount of information on my family. And it's those small little things that you find that you think are insignificant that really open the doors for you.
You really do have to be persistent when you're doing Jewish genealogy, but that makes it even sweeter when you find things. Because, you know, 10, 20 years ago, we didn't know if there were any records that were going to come out of the former Soviet Union. And we were, you know, we're finding out, and we're still finding out occasionally today that there are more resources or records available than we even thought. So you have to take a long view when you're doing this. It's not quick and easy, but it's very satisfying when you find things.
Starting out on Jewish genealogy is a lot easier today than it was when I started, because we have the wonderful things that are available on the internet. And I would advise that they start with Jewish Gen and see what they can find through there. But also Salt Lake City is a wonderful resource. Someone described it as a genealogical candy store, and that's what it is.
Genealogy is roots, connections, wanderings, imaginings, hearts, souls, minds.
So too, I think with genealogy, you're not just accumulating information when you learn where your great-great-great-great-grandparents were from. You are being drawn into that process and affected by it and changed by it. So genealogy is you.